aggressive. So with a simple tweet, Elon gave us full self-driving for a month, version 12.3.3. Let's test it out and see how well it does.
In this drive, we're gonna go to Chicago Executive Airport. It's about a 9-mile drive away from here. Lots of traffic, a lot of turns. So we're gonna see how 12.3.3 is gonna do. So I'm gonna put it in. And now it started. Okay, so Joe and I actually had experience with this. We've been testing it since yesterday, since the software update came out. I thought it was good in the beginning, and then it kind of started lagging for me a little bit. And then you said you liked it.
I took it to work and back and had no issues really with it.
Do you think that's because of its highway driving? Like, majority of your work is going on the highway. Well, that's kind of...
Oh, it's a little aggressive. Yeah, majority of my commute is on the highway, but it took the exit. It did the whole thing. It took me all the way to work. It was pretty sweet. One thing I will say though is it's definitely not perfect by any means, so make sure you're always aware while you're doing this. Keep your foot kind of hovering over the brake and ready to take over the wheel at any time. Just kind of a disclaimer, but yeah, I haven't had really any issues with it. I just put it in full screen mode, which looks super sick, I think.
Yeah, so you guys can see like exactly what the car is seeing, descriptive on what it sees, and I think it's backed up a lot by the navigation as well. My commute today was to Chicago, downtown Chicago, where my school is. I would say 70% of my driving was on the highway. It dealt with construction, which it actually did not do well.
Really?
In construction at all. I actually had to take over a couple times. And then one thing I noticed was merging to the exit.
Okay.
There's a lot of cars on the right side, and it would try going, stop, try going, stop. And then with any full self-driving that you have, there's a little awkwardness too.
Exactly, yeah.
So I just ended up just taking over, and then it got to downtown, a lot of tight maneuvering, and it did well, but there wasn't a lot of traffic around me, so.
Yeah, but I will say it is a massive upgrade from the previous version. I would not trust the previous version at all.
Yeah.
This I definitely have a little more confidence in. The one thing that we both complained about was the speed. It wouldn't, I know there's obviously speed limits and it's got to follow the speed limits, but let's say you're driving at 50 and it drops to a 35. For me, it kind of slowed down big time. It didn't do it naturally.
On this version or the older version?
On this version.
Really?
Yeah, so it's kind of awkward, like you said, if somebody's driving behind you and you're going 50 and then it just kind of goes on the brakes down to 35. It's kind of unnatural and kind of weird. I thought they'd make it kind of transition down into 35, but...
So on the new update that I saw when we were going over the settings of full self-driving supervised,
yes.
That's a new name for it. There's 3 different options. You have, I believe, chill, then you have standard. I don't know the exact names, and then you have assertive.
Yeah.
I've been driving mine on assertive.
Yeah, same.
And it changes lanes a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Which I didn't like at all.
I didn't mind because a couple of them were needed. There's a car in front of me that was dragging and it just kind of went around it and did its thing, no problem. But like you said, maybe because mine was more on the highway.
Maybe, but even on the highway, I just felt like and there's another feature in it too where instead of you setting the speed limit, it does an auto speed limit based on other cars and the traffic direction and just traffic in general, which I was that's a really, really cool feature. But then on the highway, when I was driving, it would move all the way to the left lane and the speed limit would be 60 and everyone else would be going 80.
Yeah.
And then it would just stay at 62, 63. Exactly. And it would just stay at slow.
That's exactly what I experienced too, and that's kind of what just happened now. There's a little backup behind us here because this thing's going the exact speed limit, even though it's okay to go a little bit faster just to make traffic move type of thing. So that would be nice for them to make it, like you said, more natural, not kind of exact. It's 50, don't go a hair over 50.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, right now there's 4 cars behind us, and I've got plenty of room to accelerate in front of me. Again, I'm not saying double the speed limit or anything, but just if it's 50, go 53, 52, whatever. But
yeah, I think that's one big gripe that I had with it.
Yeah.
But then I do agree with you, from I think version 11 or maybe version 10, don't destroy me in the comments if that was the thing that we test drove in August.
Yeah.
It came a long way.
It did. I'm super pleasantly surprised with this version.
One thing that's kind of a nitpick, but it doesn't matter. I noticed that once it's doing like a major turn, it always informs you on the screen to keep your hands on the wheel.
Really?
And it's like right when the wheel is like turning too, and I'm like, that's kind of awkward. Like, prompt me beforehand, maybe prompt me after. So that's like one thing I didn't like about the new software update. But just to mention, purely AI based.
Yeah,
so,
which is nuts, dude. I can't believe that.
Yeah, what Tesla ended up doing is they just fed the AI system a bunch of driving simulation models and videos, and from there the car will just adapt and learn, opposed to the previous version, which is comprised of all software.
Yeah.
I mean coding.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like a cool thing.
It's a crazy concept because the more it gets used, the better it gets.
Yeah.
So it's like it kind of exponentially gets better, which is pretty sweet.
And like the first for this new version, going to like majority of Tesla drivers that have never experienced FSD and giving them a 1 month free trial, that's like a lot of data that they're going to be connecting.
Yeah, I mean, this was like I was talking to my dad about this too. This is kind of like a genius marketing move on Elon's part. He exposes this kind of technology to millions of drivers out on the road. I'm pretty sure a fraction of them are going to say, or a percentage of them will say, okay, this thing is sweet. That was a great term, by the way.
Yeah, it was awesome. Honestly.
This feature is $12,000. Imagine if 1% of the people that get it for a month decide to go through and buy it because they like the free trial for a month.
Yeah.
Is one benefit. The other benefit is millions of people are going to be doing what we're doing, using it and testing it for a month. And like you said, imagine the data they're going to collect. So it's kind of a win-win for Elon and Tesla, which is pretty sweet.
But then I have a question for you.
What's that?
Majority of drivers that are actually in a Tesla, I would say, are not. I don't think they're that like informed on the new technologies that come out with it, because I see like older people driving Teslas. My mom or my dad are probably not going to be using FSD. So do you really think it's going to make like a major impact on people buying it?
I don't know, but I think it would be a good gamble on Tesla's part. I mean, it's send it out for a month. If, like I said, 1% of the people convert and buy it, that's who knows how much money Tesla just made.
So,
yeah, so just, again, it went through like a weird zone where the speed limit is 25, but you can clearly see you got plenty of room to accelerate. There we go, it picked up to 45.
So why did it do that? See, now every time it reads it, sometimes it sees like a 25 and it just bumps all the way down and then it goes all the way up, and just super unpredictable.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. The cars behind you are like flashing you, like, come on, move. This guy just went around us.
This is the awkward thing, and I think it's the early advancement of like full self-driving, where you just have to get over the awkwardness.
Yeah.
It's like vlogging for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you see, like, let's say FSD is more affordable and you can get it in an option, maybe like $1,000 or $2,000 on top of your car, would you actually get it? Do you think it's like helpful for you?
Kind of like what we were talking about yesterday. If it gets to a point where I can be sitting in the back seat or the passenger seat and kind of doing work while the car is taking me to work, and you gain an extra 2 hours of work each day, which is like kind of insane.
Yeah, that is actually insane.
So if it can get to that point, I would for sure get it. But if it stays like this, I mean, probably not, to be honest. It's cool to experience it for a month, but I don't know.
Also, just a note, Joe, we're in a Model 3, and then I have a Model 3. We both bought ours with enhanced autopilot.
That's right, yeah.
And the subscription model, which is probably the most feasible. I would never just spend $6,000 outright.
Yeah, on the enhanced, right?
Yeah, so without the enhanced autopilot, if you want to do the subscription base, I think it's $200 a month.
$200, yeah.
Ours is $99 a month.
Because we have that enhanced autopilot.
Yeah, and I think that's like more suitable. Like, if they come out with version 13 or 14 and I don't have full FSD,
yeah,
I'm probably more prompt to spend the $99 and test it out even more.
Yeah. And I like that feature that you can kind of turn it on and off, or pay for a month and then not use it for 3 months and then turn it back on for a month. I think it's a cool option too.
Yeah. So going back to this, so far it's been doing like a pretty good job. We have a big truck on our left. We have a lot of traffic. It's also raining a little bit.
Yeah, it started raining.
So we're gonna see how that goes. So far, this has been good. It has like one hiccup that we said, the 25 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So far, it's been good.
I'm surprised the wipers haven't gone off, because on my way home from work, they just started going on and off by themselves, and there's no rain. Now there is rain, and it's not going off yet. So
You just set the auto.
yeah, it does it by itself as soon as you do autopilot.
You know, they took that out. Remember in version 11 or 11, it had to be on auto for FSD to work.
Oh, really?
And now on the new versions, they actually took that off. You can dictate how much you want it to go.
Nice.
So,
I like that.
also another cool update is they're improving summon mode,
Okay,
which
good.
I think summon mode is a joke, and I think it's a gimmick that Elon always does. Do you agree or no?
I think so. I've tried it in a couple parking lots, and it was embarrassing to say the least.
It's like atrocious. You know, one time I tried it in like a Walmart parking lot, and I was this close of hitting another car. I don't think it would have hit another car, but it was fairly close to hitting a car. So, yeah, I think summon mode is like an absolute joke. But Elon has like said on Twitter or X that they're improving the parking situation where the car just finds a parking lot and goes there, and then they're just going to improve summon mode. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I hope. I mean, it's a cool feature, especially days like today where it's raining. You're at a mall, you just tell it to come pick you up. That's pretty cool.
yeah, I like it. I don't know. I just can't get over the $6,000 price range for enhanced autopilot.
Yeah, it's pretty steep in my opinion, but I don't know. Can't decide that. So.
Yeah, that's why I would say go used and find a car that already has enhanced autopilot.
That's good advice. Yeah.
It's like the best of like both worlds. You get like a cool party trick with like people, and then you do have an enhanced autopilot on like major highways, which really like it's exactly the same as autopilot. It just changes lanes for you.
Yeah, that's true.
So
one thing that I'm wondering is, with this software update and things getting a little more dialed in with this autopilot, do you think we're getting closer to that robo-taxi kind of concept where you're not using the car for 5 hours out of the day while you're at work? It goes out and does like an Uber Lyft type of thing, and then comes and picks you up just before you need to leave to go home. Do you think we're getting any closer to that?
So, if you asked me this in August, I would have been like, not a chance. But just seeing how much this has improved from August to now,
Yeah.
I'm not as skeptical.
Yeah.
Because it did improve a lot. It's way more natural. When it's taking a turn, it's not fully stopping and then going.
Yep.
It's like, it's a super nice turn.
Yeah, exactly.
It notices a lot of the cars behind you. So that improvement, I would say yes, in probably like 10 years. I wouldn't say like the next year or so.
Really?
What do you think?
I agree with you. I don't think we're quite there yet, but I don't think it's going to be 10 years. I mean,
You don't think so?
This was a massive upgrade in my opinion from the previous version.
But you wouldn't trust it right now.
I wouldn't trust it, but like I said, this is a giant step in the right direction. I mean, if they exponentially get better the way we're talking with all the data they're collecting, I could see it happening in a couple of years.
Where you would be comfortable just sitting in the back.
I would send it. No, I'd send the car out, go work. I'm not sitting in the back.
That's a cool actual like idea. That's like improves the gig economy too.
Yeah.
Because like when the car is just driving everywhere.
Exactly, yeah.
One cool feature that I actually found in this one, it might have been on the 11 as well, is it senses the brake lights and the turning signals of other cars around you.
Oh, that's right. There, you could see this Audi's got its lights on, so.
Yeah, so and it does it to multiple cars, which I think that's like really cool because like if the car's in front of you and the car senses that it's taking a right, naturally it's going to slow down. That's what a natural person would do.
Exactly, yeah.
So I thought that was like a really cool feature that they're doing. It just seems like they're just improving little by little. It's not big leaps,
Yeah.
but it's just like little work.
Yeah.
So I think that's like super cool. Right now it's been like kind of an easy road.
Yeah, it's been pretty straight, but it's been handling pretty well. There's that yellow light. It decided to stop, which I think was a good call. There, finally, the windshield wipers went off, which is nice. One thing that I am super impressed with this way this thing looks is the amount of data that you get.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, look at that. There's a truck parked there. It shows a truck right there. It's just insane the amount of things that the camera sees. Like, you'd be shocked that it could see like the oncoming traffic from as far ahead as it does.
Yeah. And even yesterday, a truck was blocking the views of the camera, and it's still, I don't know if it uses prediction AI, like predictive AI, but it knew exactly where all the medians were. It knew exactly, stop it.
Yeah, it's slowed down.
Yeah, that's like the weird thing about it. It just slows down randomly.
Yeah. I don't know why it does that. I mean, the speed limit didn't really change.
this morning today, I went to the gym. It's a pretty easy route, just a couple turns, and it keeps. I think it has trouble with the double right or the double left.
Oh, where two cars can turn at the same time.
Yeah, because what happened was it went on the far left lane and it was trying to make the right, and then it just. If there was a car right next to me, it would have hit the car. So that's one thing that I noticed that's not got it. Also, it doesn't predict that if you're going to take a left and then another left, it picks like the closest lane that it comes to, which is the far right.
I see. Yeah, it should have been in the left so it can left.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So I just took that over a couple times. Also, one cool thing is once you disengage autopilot, a screen comes up saying, autopilot has been disengaged. Send us a 10-second video of what happened. Sends it back to Tesla for improvement. Then
how does that work? It just takes the last 10 seconds before you turn it off?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It doesn't see, and then it prompts you to press this button right here.
Yeah.
And then you just record a 10-second like explaining what happened, and then sends it back to Tesla so they can improve.
That's pretty cool.
Things. So I've used it a couple times. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's anonymous, so none of your data is actually going there except just your voice. So if you're cool with that. Funny thing is, I asked you about FSD. Do you think it would go to like mass people that are driving Teslas?
Yeah.
I watched this MKBHD video, and he was taking a Cybertruck outside, and a bunch of people came up to him saying, "What is this car? I've never seen this car. What is it?" And he kept saying, "It's a Tesla. It's a Cybertruck." Majority, he said 90%. See, another time it just did the exact same thing, where it just like slows down. Majority of the people, he said 90% of people did not even know it was a Tesla.
Wow. It was incredible seeing one for the first time in real life, but it's going to be nice or exciting to see them driving around now more often.
Yeah, but in the same sense, I really don't think a lot of people understand what full self-driving is.
I don't know.
Like, I don't see my 55-year-old like dad or mom just hopping in and just, because one, they don't trust it. So
another thing that's kind of going off what you said, it wasn't, I mean, I think it's kind of a big deal that it gave millions of people a month free trial, and it was kind of tucked for an update that didn't really say that you're going to get it until after the fact. So it was kind of weird.
Because the only reason why I found out about this is on Twitter.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people are actually on Twitter.
Yeah. I didn't know about it. I just got a software update notice, and it said minor fixes and whatever it said. I told you about it. You're like, yeah, dude, that's the
software update. See, it's switching lanes. It actually switches lanes like perfectly.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It does it super smooth. There's like nothing wrong about it. I kind of like how it does it. But going back to that, I think that's just one thing about Tesla where it just doesn't really care to advertise their things. It just whenever someone gets it, they get it, and they're like wowed by it.
And I do think social media and YouTube and things like that are their marketing. Like you said, MKBHD, for sure his video's gotten tens of millions of views already. So it's like kind of smart on their end. Why pay for marketing
or advertising? But the problem is it's such a niche audience. Like you're really only hitting the demographics of people online that actually care about cars.
I guess. But how many people have you told about that? I've told a ton of people about
FSD?
About Tesla.
Oh, about Tesla,
and things like that. So
yeah, enough for basically our whole family to have a Model 3.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're actually almost at the location, and I don't know. I would give it like a pretty high rating. It did pretty well.
I think it did great overall.
And I think just the stopping and then setting the speed, I think that's like easily fixable.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that is my biggest complaint is the way it slows down and things like that. Here we go. Make sure we do this correctly.
See, that's like...
We just got honked at by a crazy minivan. But that doesn't count, dude. Look at that guy.
Yeah, that does not count at all. But we just got honked at, which I think the car was doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I didn't really like see anything wrong with it.
You have a signal, slow down. So.
One thing that I actually want to see them improve is, especially like when I set it to go to my house, it just keeps going.
What do you mean? Oh, like it doesn't stop at that?
No, it actually doesn't stop at my house. And it would be cool if like they do the feature where it actually like pulls into the driveway.
That would be insane.
Or it says like autopilot done, or like something like that. It just keeps going.
Yeah, that's weird. Now it should know to stop when it gets to an address.
I guarantee you, later on, when you go to like a gym or a store or anything,
Yeah.
it'd be cool if they put the feature of like parking.
That would be insane. Like you pull up to the front, get out, and it goes and parks.
Yeah, that or it just parks by itself.
That's insane.
I think that would be like a pretty cool feature to have.
That would be sweet.
And I think we're getting here, so.
Yeah, I think we're here. I don't know exactly where it's going.
See, you're gonna see right now. And we can't even enter this. So it's probably just gonna enter and stop.
All right, so what would you give it out of 10, Ed? What do you think?
This drive, pretty simple drive, wasn't like too hard. I
Not
think
too bad.
made a couple turns. I would probably. Oh yeah, this is the autopilot disengage.
Oh, right here.
So you can like press this, and then tell it what happened, and then it just sends it to Tesla.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would probably give it like a solid 8.1. I think it was like pretty good. I think the stopping is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'd give it a solid 8 or 9 because, like you said, it didn't really have any issues. Just the slowing down in between the different speed limits. But overall, I think it's a massive upgrade from the previous version. So good job, Tesla.
Yeah, very good job. If you guys like this video, obviously like, subscribe, and then tell us if you want us to test it on in the city. I think that's like a lot harder.
Yeah, big time. Imagine the hustle
More
and bustle
people.
of Chicago.
Yeah. So let us know. And test it out if you have a Tesla. Get the free trial.
Yeah.
So
Let us know your experience with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.